You ever have one of those days where you realize karma's just sitting in the corner, arms crossed, waiting for its moment? Because that's exactly what happened my first year of college. And man, the story that unfolded still cracks me up to this day. So picture this campus dorm, four of us guys sharing the same air. Two of them, absolute legends, Marcus and Javi, shout out, you saved my sanity. But then there was Tyler. Oh, Tyler. The guy who never met a snack notebook or even a pair of wireless earbuds he didn't mysteriously find in his room. You know, that one dude who just cannot resist borrowing stuff without asking, yeah, him. We all complained to the RA about Tyler's sticky fingers, but it was always talk it out as a house, guys. It's just small stuff. Right. Second house meeting rolls around and Tyler's sitting there cool as a cucumber. You guys are overreacting. How am I supposed to know which stuff is mine? It all looks the same. Mark is totally done with it, fires back. Because we keep our stuff in our own rooms, dude. Even with everything labeled or hidden, the guy kept up his nonsense. So we do what any desperate group would do. We start labeling our gear with masking tape. Real high tech, right? And somehow, miraculously, my headphones still end up in his drawer. Oh, I thought those were mine. Tape must have fallen off. That's the moment I decided, okay, if nobody else is going to solve this, I will. Now, I might have gone a little overboard. I bought this USB device for about $100, no joke, the kind that fries your computer if you plug it into an open port. To be clear, I wasn't planning to actually destroy anything, but I wanted Tyler to think twice. Marcus and Javi were in on it. We even installed some security software on our own laptops so Tyler couldn't mess us up by accident. And for extra flair, I taped my name clear as day on this little silicone time bomb. Marcus was nervous, but hey, it wasn't a trap, right? Just a little lesson in property rights. 3 days. That's all it took for Tyler to fail the test. I was at the library when Marcus hit me up. Dude, get back here. Tyler's losing his mind. I walk into the dorm, and you can hear Tyler from the parking lot just losing it. What the duck? What the actual duck? His laptop smoking. He's screaming, and then he tries to say, I'm at fault for booby-trapping a USB. You did this on purpose. You knew I'd use it, he yells. And honestly, I couldn't hold it together. I laughed. Right in his face. How'd you get the USB, Tyler? Because it was labeled in my room on my desk. That doesn't matter. You can't just leave stuff around that destroys property, he shouts. I was using it in my room to test my own computer. You came in and took it. At that point, the RA shows up, probably heard the yelling from 3 floors down. He looks at us and Tyler starts spinning this wild story about me purposely trying to destroy his stuff. The RA, God bless him, just goes, wait, how would you use a USB that was in his room? Long story short, both of us get marched down to campus security. For a minute I'm thinking, well, that's my future right there, toast, because I tried to teach a thief a lesson. But security wasn't buying it. Let me get this straight, the officer says to Tyler. You entered his room, took something labeled with his name, plugged it into your computer, and now you think he's at fault? Tyler gets booted to the crusty old single dorms across campus. They told him if he ever pulled that again, he'd be banned from all housing, plus enjoy a little sit-down with the dean. Tyler starts begging, but my exam notes, my laptop, my midterms, and the officer just deadpans. Maybe you should have thought about that before you took someone else's property. Yeah, that happened. The rest of the semester, we got ourselves an extra bedroom for storage and the most epic beer pong setup on campus. Marcus toasted the USB that saved us, and Tyler, well, last I saw he was in the cafeteria glued to a library computer, probably wondering where it all went wrong. But if you think college drama is wild, let me tell you about the time I became the villain on my own land, thanks to someone who could out-Karen any Karen you've ever met. So I've got this little patch of heaven, 40 acres of woodland and meadows. Nothing fancy, just peace and quiet. some fishing, a rickety cabin I'm slowly bringing back from the dead. Every boundary is posted with no trespassing signs, not like you could miss them if you tried. One Saturday, I'm out there fixing the cabin roof when I hear voices way back by the pond, which you'd have to hike past several warning signs to even find. Grab the binoculars, spot a picnic. Looks like a family kid's grandma, the whole 9 yards, chilling right by my pond. So I walk over, trying not to startle anybody, and before I can even get a word out, the mom will call her Karen, because what else starts accusing me of spying on her kids, says I have no right to be there. I'm like, ma'am, this is private property. There are signs everywhere. She cuts me off, says I faked the signs, that I'm just trying to bully people off public land. Then get this, she calls the cops on me, tells dispatch I'm harassing her. I just say, you know what? Call the police. Please. I walk back to my truck, grab my property paperwork, and even call the sheriff myself to report trespassers. But then Karen, feeling like she's won, tells me on my own property to leave. She says she's ordering me off public land, and that if I don't, she'll tell the cops I'm refusing a citizen's order. You ever have a moment where you realize the universe just handed you the best script for malicious compliance ever? I smile, nod, and say, you know what? Absolutely. I'll leave right now and wait for the police at the road. Karen and her family settle back in thinking they've pulled off the score of the century. Meanwhile, I'm parked out front, snapping photos of her license plate and calling my lawyer just in case. About half an hour later, the sheriff shows up, listens to my side, checks my paperwork, and suddenly he's very interested. We walk back together and Karen launches into her story full volume about me harassing her. The deputy just stands there, lets her finish, then asks, ma'am, do you have permission to be here? Karen says she doesn't need it public land after all. The deputy holds up my deed points to the signs, and suddenly Karen's face turns the shade of a cold mashed potato. He tells her not only is she trespassing, but by ordering me off my own land, she's made herself responsible for anything that happened while I was gone, including her kids swimming alone in a pond on private property. Reckless endangerment, anyone. Karen tries to backpedal, says she didn't mean it, didn't know it was private, all that jazz, but the deputy's already writing citations. As they're packing up, Karen tries to apologize, asks if we can work something out. I just look at her and say, you wanted the police to handle it, so let's let the legal process run its course. Karen and family got escorted out, and the local judge apparently wasn't amused when he saw all those no trespassing signs. If you've ever doubted that people can be their own worst enemy, just remember sometimes the best thing you can do is let them dig their own hole, stand back, and enjoy the view. If Karen had just said sorry and left, none of it would have happened. And you'd think that would be the end of entitled stories for a while, but nah, life keeps serving up wild ones. Like the time Krispy Kreme did a free donuts for grads promo, and my sister and I accidentally walked away with a dozen that a Karen had special ordered, all because she tried to cut the line and bully her way ahead of a bunch of tired, broke college kids. Or the warehouse supervisor who learned real quick why you don't try to run a crew without giving them the help they need, especially when the contract says otherwise. Honestly, every time I hear about someone getting labeled selfish for refusing to bankroll other people's good times or having boundaries tested by so-called friends, I remember all these moments. The universe has a way of balancing the scales. Sometimes it takes a fried laptop, a trespassing ticket, or a box of donuts, but it gets there. So tell me, have you ever had to teach someone a lesson the hard way or had karma step in and handle it for you? Do you think justice always wins? Or do some folks never learn? Drop your own stories in the comments. Let's get the debate going. And hey, if you're ever tempted to take what's not yours, just remember, karma might be sitting right there waiting for its cue.